Good evening, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of A Word with Pastor Webb. I'm your host, Pastor Webb, and we have a very special guest this evening. We have the myth, the legend, Captain Marvin Tarver. Please help me to salute and celebrate my friend and brother, Captain Tarver. Man, how you doing?
Doing great, doing great. Thank you for that welcome. I really appreciate it, and also I appreciate being on the show. I really enjoy what you do. It's inspiring, and keep doing a great job.
All right. How's the drive?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all.
Was it raining?
It was raining a little bit.
Okay.
Once I got through, that traffic on I-4,
Okay.
got here no problem.
All right. Well, we're not going to prolong the time. Going to our first question. What is your story? How did you grow up?
Okay. Good question. Well, I'm from Bartow.
Okay.
I actually grew up in a small town out on the outskirts of Bartow called Gordon Heights.
Gordon Heights. Okay. The Heights. Okay.
The Heights.
Yeah.
The Heights. Yes. I come from a single-parent home. My mom, she had three boys and 3 girls.
Okay.
She was the sole breadwinner of the family. Hard worker. I saw my mom, going to work every day, and she made sure that her kids had a place to live.
Okay.
That the house that she bought back then is a house that she still lives in today. 50 years ago. Yes, she bought it brand new.
Wow.
Just ensuring that her children had a place to live. So I really appreciate my mother. So grew up there in Gordon Heights. I love Gordon Heights.
Okay.
Man, you talking about one of the best places to grow up, Gordon Heights. Everyone knew everyone. Families knew families. You leave the house, you didn't have to worry about safety. You didn't have to worry about getting in trouble. Everyone knew everyone. So we had a great relationships. In the Gordon Heights community. A lot of fond memories. But went on to high school, Bartow High School. Left Bartow High School, went on to play a little college football up in northern Mississippi.
What position?
Played strong safety.
Strong safety.
Strong safety.
You used to bring it?
I used to bring it.
Yes, sir.
I played middle linebacker in high school. Went on to play strong safety in college.
Okay.
For a couple semesters or so. It didn't last long. Been up there in Mississippi, been away from home. So I came back.
Right.
And that's kind of when I began to work different jobs.
Okay.
Began my first, should I say, real job with the Polk County Sheriff's Department. I worked in corrections there for a couple years.
Okay.
Enjoyed that job, learned a lot, working in the jails. After about a couple years, I went on the road, started working for Auburndale Police Department. Okay. Worked with Auburndale for about 4 years, and now I've been with the Lakeland Police Department for 26 years. In my 26-year career, and I worked everything from being a police officer. I've been a cops officer working in the communities to bridge the gap between the police, and the citizens. I've been on the SWAT team. I've worked as an entry operator and a sniper. I was a street crimes officer as well. Worked street level drugs. I worked undercover in the Special Investigations Unit, working mid to upper level drugs as well. I went on to be a criminal investigator, working auto theft and economic crimes. And from that point, I began to, just to move up in the ranks from sergeant to lieutenant to now a captain over our community services division.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes. Well, now give me 3 words that best describe who you are and why.
Who I am and why. I think the first and the one that comes to mind, right away is I'm a man of faith.
Amen.
I could not have done this job without having faith in God and trusting and believing, that God is my protector, God is my provider. God is my source of strength. And I remember working as a SWAT operator. And we do drug search warrants. We load up, in a van, the SWAT team, the search warrant entry team. And, there'd be a lot of chatter and talk, before we got ready to go, knowing we, had to go into a situation where there could be guns, there could be shooting, a lot of things could happen. Right. But on the way to that location, you really begin to slow down and think, what if, what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. Right. And so we always had a little prayer session just before we got to the scene. Wow. And I would pray And that would give us the confidence to know that, okay, this is going to be all right.
Wow.
And it's just amazing, that feeling you get when you pull in front of a house. Sources have told you that there may be guns and weapons in the house.
Right.
You pull up in front of the house, and for that split second, from that time you exit that van to the time you actually get into the house and take over the house, there's this, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And so you have to have a trust and a faith in God to just believe that, hey, everything's going to be all right. And so I couldn't have done this job without being a man of faith.
All right.
Yes.
So man of faith.
Man of faith. I'm optimistic as well.
Okay, optimistic.
Optimistic as well. I kind of take life, as it comes to me. I look at life from a positive aspect.
Okay.
Whatever life brings me, if it brings me lemons, I'm gonna make lemonade out.
Okay.
When I fail in life, I look at, okay, I go back and look and okay, what happened? Why did I fall down? Why did I miss this step? What happened? I go back, dissect it, okay, put it back together, put it back in the game. Okay, let's see what's going to happen.
Right.
So I'm optimistic about life, and
okay.
I try to take life on and my mistakes and my failures, and I rethink them, and I get back in the game and just continue to push forward. And I always look for a better outcome.
All right. So give me one more. Man of faith, optimist. You got one more?
Optimistic, team player.
Team player. Okay, team player.
Team player. I believe in team.
Okay.
Being a team player.
Okay.
Being a team player. It's just like football.
Yeah.
Just like football. The center hikes the ball. Okay. The quarterback throws it. The receiver catches it, runs for the touchdown. But the entire team wins.
Amen.
Entire team wins. And so being a team player is important to me, because I see that as we deal with the different issues in our society as police, the problems we face, everyone has a part to play. The police department has a part to play. The church has a part to play. Our citizens have a part to play. Our business owners have a part to play. Our city government has a part to play. And when we work together, I think we can effectively impact, the issues that we see in society.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, what are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun?
Man, I like to fish. That's one of my hobbies. When I get a chance.
Okay.
When I get a chance, I like to fish. I also like to read.
Okay.
I like to read. Whenever I can find a good book to read, I like to read. Books about leadership.
Okay.
Books about finance.
Okay.
Books about personal development.
Okay.
And being in my position, leadership is very, very important. And so when I can't, reach a mentor, and talk to them about a situation I'm dealing with, I can always find a good book and and receive mentorship from a good book. And again, just I'm thinking of one particular book called My American Journey. General Colin Powell.
Colin Powell, right.
Yeah,
right.
He wrote this book about his life and some of the lessons that he learned.
Right.
And a lesson on leadership. He tells about this story where he was a young man. He was over a troop in this military school.
Right.
And they were competing in this competition. He had one of his friends that was training the group to do one specific thing, and he had another group he was training to do something else as well. But he had received word from his friend's team that he was not performing, that his friend was not performing well. He was having some relationship problems. And Colin knew, he should have said something to his friend.
Right.
But he didn't. And so the day of the competition, Colin's team does well, but his friend's team didn't do as well.
Right.
And so he talks about this in his book. And he makes this quote, and I may misquote it, but it goes something like this. He says that leadership is about making hard decisions. When something is broke, fix it. and you win the gratitude of the people who were kept under that situation.
Amen.
And so I try to take that and implement that into my leadership strategy. You know, if there's something that's broken, I know I need to fix it.
Amen.
And when I fix it, then I know the people who have been subjected to that,
Amen.
They'll be thankful for it.
Amen.
And so you know, so I use books, you know, from time to time as my mentor. You know, when I you know, can't find a personal mentor to reach out to, and then just vacationing, just, you know, getting out, getting away, unplugging. You know, we used to cruise before COVID. You know, that's kind of been shut down for right now. Right. I think we're going to start, you know, just getting out and seeing the U.S. and seeing what the U.S. has to offer as far as, you know, vacations and those sort of things. So those are 3 things. All right.
Yeah. Well, tell me how did that make you feel to be the captain now? How did that make you feel?
Well, I tell you, first I'm just grateful to be able to serve, you know, in whatever capacity, and I think it's important, you know, to be able to serve in a leadership role. But with that leadership role comes, you know, great responsibility. Right. And so although I appreciate it, I understand the responsibility that goes along with it. One thing about law enforcement and policing is once you decide to put that uniform on, your life becomes an open book.
Yes.
You know, so you know, people look at you not only for what you do on the job, but they also look at your personal life.
Wow. So
your lifestyle, you know, has to be representative of what your police department, you know, supports.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, you know, I'm thankful. Thankful for the position, but I understand that the great responsibility that goes along with it.
All right. So what motivated you to go into this profession?
I think it's something that I want to say most people have, you know, just the desire to help people.
Okay.
Just that desire to help people and just to kind of be their champion, you know. You think about children and elderly, you know, the underserved and the underprivileged and the weak and, you know, the sick, you know, just to be that person to help and to make sure that, you know, everyone has opportunity to live and move in a safe environment.
Amen.
Yeah.
So what is the most challenging part of your job?
Wow, that's a good question. Most challenging part, and I think we're kind of experiencing some of that right now with the incident that happened in Uvalde.
Right.
The shootings that have taken place actually over the country. Challenging because, you know, what happens in other jurisdictions, it impacts all law enforcement agencies. You know, something can happen, you know, on the other side of the country, but it impacts Lakeland, Florida. Prime example is the George Floyd incident. Yes, you know, there was rioting, there was protesting, you know, going on all over, and you know, Lakeland, we experienced, you know, some of the protests. Not so much the rioting, but the protests. And so, you know, those are some of the things that, you know, it comes with the job. But, you know, we have to deal with it. So we have to deal with it. Lucky for us, though, lucky for the police department, we have put things in place to build such relationships that, you know, I think we've garnered such a good relationship with our citizens that we don't have to worry about that as much, but we still have to deal with it from time to time. Yeah,
and so when you see a young kid like that, both of them, both 18 years old, young guys, to go into the school and go into the grocery store, just shoot people, man. That's just what. How you feel as an officer? You just what?
You know, my heart goes out to those families that have to suffer with that and deal with that. You know, I can just imagine. I can't imagine what it would feel like, you know, to have to go through something like that. You know, you drop your kid off at school. You know, the last thing you expect is for something like that to happen. You're dropping them off in a safe place, and you really expect the schools to really take care of the kid and make sure they're safe. You know, it's horrific. You know, there's no word to describe. You know, what a person does, what they do. But you know, through the and we talked about this a little bit earlier, the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Act. You know, there were certain things put in place to kind of mitigate, you know, things like that from happening. I don't know, you know, what Texas does. But in Florida, you know, now you know, there are police officers that are stationed at schools, and they have to be at schools while students are on campus. And so their purpose is to work with administration to ensure the safety of the kids on campus. And so, you know, that's one of the good things about, should I say, I don't know, Florida, Polk County, is I think our ability to work with the school systems to make sure that our kids are safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite part of your job?
Wow, my favorite part of the job, I think, just getting out in the community, being a part of the community. You know, just being that champion for the police department. You know, just they let people know, hey, this, you know, police department is all right. You know, we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. And so just kind of helping to instill that trust in the police department. You know, oftentimes we get invited to special events, you know, church events, different things we get invited to. We get invited to speak sometimes. And so I just enjoy being a part of the community, you know, and feeling like, you know, hey, you guys can reach out to me if you need me. And guess what? I'm going to reach out to you if I need you. So that's what I enjoy.
Now, who has been your biggest supporter growing up with your career? Who has been your biggest supporter? Yeah,
really, I say my family.
Your family,
My family. Yeah, my family has been real supportive of this job, and they really support me no matter what's going on in the country. You know, they know that, hey, you know, my sister, she likes to say, she sticks up for me. Whenever someone's talking bad about police, you know, she'll stick up for me and say,
my brother.
Not my brother. Not my brother. But yeah, my family has been the biggest support. You know, my wife, my mother, my children. You know, because you're going a lot. You know, especially in your early years of policing, and they've really been a big support.
So, what advice would you give to a young person who wants to go into this profession?
I would say it's just like buying a car. You know, you want to look under the hood. You know, see how it runs. You know, see if the oil's leaking, or you know, if there's need water in the radiator. You know, what's going on? What's going on with it? Same thing with the police department. You know, before you decide to get in this profession, I think you should, you know, check out the police department. Find out, you know, how it operates. You know, how it works. You know, who are your leaders in your organization? What resources does the police department have for the citizens? Is that a place that you think you can work? And when, you know, when you make that decision, you know, apply. But find out about the police department.
Find out, do some research.
Do some research.
All right.
Do some research.
What are some of the misconceptions of this profession? I know donuts and coffee. Is that true?
Hey, now I do get my coffee every morning, but I lay off the donuts. But I think some of the misconceptions are that the police department or the police, they only make arrests, write tickets, you know, put people in jail. You know what I'm saying? You know, police department does so much more than that. You know, in Lakeland, you know, we have a police athletic league that has a football team. The Lakeland Hurricanes. You know, we have a archery team. We have a mentoring program, a fishing team. You know, we do a summer program for our kids. We do a high school academy 1 week out of the year, usually during the summer, where we bring high school kids in and we teach them about law enforcement. They get an opportunity to, you know, to learn a little bit more about law enforcement. We have an explorers unit, which is a year-round, you know, group of kids. They come in and they learn about policing once a week. You know, and a lot of times those kids that leave that program, they eventually become police officers. And you know, we do a Citizens Police Academy, where, you know, adult citizens can come in and for 14 weeks, come in one day out of the week for 14 weeks and learn about the police department. Yeah, they get an opportunity also. You know, we talk about why can't you shoot them in the leg or shoot the gun out of the hand, you know. citizens, they get an opportunity to be put in a situation, scenario based, and just to see how they would perform in those type of situations. Using what we call simunitions, not real weapons, but they get an opportunity to experience that for themselves. And what I found that people who have come into that program, not liking the police, they leave that program with a greater appreciation for what the police officers do. And so that program has changed minds of people, and where they maybe not we're not on our side. Right. Now we have a supporter of the police department. So yes, we do so much.
So more than donuts and coffee.
Yeah, more than.
I appreciate that. But Doc, I was looking at your resume and I saw where you served on the Special Weapons and Tactics team as a sniper early on in your career. What is the role of a sniper?
Man, a sniper. Yes. Now, I was on the SWAT team about 15 years. I served. I began as what we call an entry operator. Okay. That's the guy that's dressed down, that's the one that's hitting the door, going inside. A sniper, a little different. They're part of the SWAT team, but they're normally off in the distance. They're trained to use what we call a precision rifle, 308 rifle, and their job pretty much is to protect that team when they go inside an unsafe area. Protect the team. Not only that, protect hostages and any innocent bystanders in the area. Yes.
All right. So how far can you hit a target? Or can?
Well, we've trained out as far as 300 yards, about 3 football fields.
So you can pop a can 3 football field, yeah.
Yeah, 3 football fields, about a 6-inch target. Yes.
So that's long. Yeah. Because I heard about you. I heard you snap, knock a fly off his head. I heard you. But you gotta be accurate. 3 football fields, you can hit a can.
Yeah, a lot of training, a lot of practice. I mean, you really have to get intimate with that weapon and learn how it functions.
So if you shot 10 times, how many times would you miss? Would you hit every 10 times? If you hit it?
Oh, 10 times, yeah, 10 shots, 10 hits.
So it ain't nothing here for hitting the body. If you get a can.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I heard you was the sniper.
I was a sniper.
All right. Next question. If you had one wish, what would that be?
World peace.
World peace. Well, I like that. World peace.
Yes. Just for people to get along. I just think we miss so much. In life. Just having disagreements and not being able to work together. Right. Just peace. Just peace.
All right. What are some of the early mistakes you made in life you had to overcome?
Wow, early mistakes. I think I say one of my earliest mistakes would have been when I first left high school to go to college. I went to college and I was a little homesick, had some things going on. Did about, a couple semesters and came home, didn't finish.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't finish college at that time. Now eventually, through the years I, went back to school, got my AA, my bachelor's, my master's degree. But I wish I would have just hung in there, stayed the course and finished then. I mean, nothing wrong with getting it later, but I wish I'd have just hung in there, and got it done then, because that just would have been less time, that I would have had to use, in these later years, to do that. I would have just saved some time. I could have been focusing on other things rather than, trying to get my degree later in life. So I tell kids, if you can get it now, go ahead and get it. Get as much as you can early in life, and so you don't have to worry about it. Right. I mean, you'll still do some learning, some training, different things, but get it early, get it done, and focus on some other things.
All right.
Yes.
What has been your biggest loss or biggest fear?
I think my biggest fear is fear.
It's fear.
It's fear.
Biggest fear is fear.
It's fear. It's fear. Fear is so powerful that, you know, if you allow it, you know, you allow it to just keep you from moving forward in life, from stepping out on faith.
Okay.
Fear, it really hinders you from being successful. So, so I think my greatest fear is that I will allow fear to stop me from being all that I can be as a person.
Amen.
You know, so I think that's my greatest fear.
All right. What are you most proud of?
Most proud of, man, I have to tell you about a case I worked. I worked a case, and I don't want to make this too long, but I worked a case some years ago as a criminal investigator. Got called out one night, a missing elderly person. This lady had come down from out of state, came to see her father. Right. They had left separate vehicles to go to a location, and somehow he made a wrong turn, got lost. Wow. Man, he was in his 80s, got lost. So came out, started searching for him, couldn't find him, okay? We put out all kind of alerts, bulletins, and that sort of thing. The next day, one of our officers was out, and he sees some smoke, goes to the location, and it's kind of wooded area, sees a car, you know, car was burnt to a crisp, goes up to the car, and there's a body in the car. Wow. Yeah, it was the old man. Wow. It was the old man. And so we were trying to figure out, you know how did this happen? Well, in the meantime, the family of the man noticed that there were some large transactions. Some money's taken out of his account. Large transactions. So they thought that maybe, you know, some kind of foul play had happened. Wow. There was some other suspicions they had about some neighbors. You know, the person lived around. But anyway, I got the investigation, and I had to look into it. At the time, I was working economic crimes, financial crimes, and so I subpoenaed about 2 years worth of documents to take a look at this man's, you know, habits, bank statements, and that sort of thing. Couldn't talk to him, you know, obviously, you know, for obvious reasons. The family didn't know much about him because they actually lived out of town. They were just coming down to see him. And so I had to figure out, okay, what happened? Was there foul play involved, or was this just an accident? So as I'm researching his bank statements, I'm noticing, I'm seeing some consistency, some patterns, and you know, and monies that were being withdrawn from his account. And one of the things I saw that consistently, you know, he would take out money like in denominations of 50s, 50s. And I was like, okay, that's kind of strange. Right. Never put two and two together. And just so happened, before he died, he went to the bank. And so I was able to pull the video, the bank video, and see him going into the bank and making a transaction. He was by himself, making a transaction. Interviewed the tellers, you know, and they knew the guy. He would come in by himself most of the time. But one teller said, you know, he would come in sometimes with a lady. And when he came in with this lady, he would be real secretive and didn't want to, you know, talk to the tellers as much as he did in the past. Wow. Yeah, and so now I'm looking for this mysterious lady. And I'm still investigating this crime, and I saw the check that he had written was for $6,050. Wow. $6,050. Older man, you know, what reason he have to withdraw that kind of money? So I'm thinking this mysterious woman was taking money from him. Well, as I investigate more, I'm looking, and I'm looking at this 6,005, these 50s. They continue to, you know, just pop in my mind. And one day it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and I had that last withdrawal slip blown up, and I looked at it, and I could tell that withdrawal was initially written for $50. Someone inserted $6,000.
Oh.
And so I had to find out who that was.
Wow.
And so I went back and I started looking at the video again. And I looked at the video, and if this was a $50 transaction, a $6,000 transaction, it would show that. So he writes out the deposit slip, goes up to the teller, and the teller brings him the money. And she makes, she does this. She makes 3 moves. 1, 2, 3. 20, 20, 10, $50. So I'm like, $50 transaction. I could see it on the video. However, $6,050 was taken out of his account. I go back to the teller. I interview her, and she confesses to taking the money from the man. Over a course of 2 years, she withdrew $160,000 out of his account.
Wow.
Yes, yes. And so she was arrested. She was arrested. In the bank, they gave the family the money, back that she had taken. And so that was probably one of a case that I was most proud of. And I got Officer of the Year.
Okay, well, I know, man. Officer of the world. Yeah, I like that. Wow.
I got Officer of the Year for that case.
So you blew it up, and that's good.
Yeah,
man.
That's good. The family had closure too. They knew what happened.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
And they were able to to have some closure for that case. So just a great feeling to bring closure to that case. And so probably one of my better cases I've worked over the years.
All right.
Yes.
Well, just got 3 more questions.
All right.
How has God played a success in your role?
Well, like I said before, without faith in God and trusting in God, I couldn't do this job. All the dangers that lurk around the corners, the things that happen, from time to time. I just wouldn't be able to do it without having trust and faith in God.
All right.
Yes.
All right. As we come to the close, any profound statements, profound quotes you want to leave with us? I
would just say nothing necessarily profound, but just for the average person, get to know your police department.
Okay.
Support your police department.
Right.
When your police officers, when who your chief is and who makes decisions and what resources your police department has, you just have a better understanding and appreciation for what they do. So support your police department, find out about them, get to know them, and don't wait for something to happen.
All right.
Get to
see
know
something, say something.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Last question. What's the best talk show in the land?
A Word with Pastor Webb.
Thank you, my brother, for coming on the show. Until the listening audience, may God bless you real good.